Welcome back. The playlist was looping, so I had a swap. This is Wonderful Life by Hertz, the Arthur Baker remix, whatever that means. Third row characters. Now if you pick these up from T to Z, that's 7 characters, right? So if you enlarge that, you might get an alignment issue. So just do 9 at a time, do an equal, and what do you know? Check that out. The grid is no longer working. So Shift G, 8-6 adjust, and we make sure that we didn't bork the grid. So how about we cut out some characters and please God align. Okay, so go to brush, handle, corner. As you can see, Alt X and Y. So how about we use an Alt X and Alt X again, perhaps? No luck. So turn off the grid and place it manually, and then turn the grid back on. Cut out 9 characters this time. And wouldn't you know, it's not aligned. Am I really that drunk? Ah, the explanation is of course that I've made an error here somewhere, I think. Either way, we're gonna align it to the T character, pick it up. Well, that seemed to work. And Alt X to change the handle. Just won't work with me. Alt S, was it? Right. And we're gonna turn off the grid just for fun. And we're gonna count pixels. So we want to put it here, right? But 4 pixels down, hold shift. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. And my mouse button press does not take. My Amiga is jinxed. 2, 3, 4. Wow. Alright, so we're finishing the character set here. You really don't need to zoom in, or at least I thought so, to place these corners. We can do it in the zoomed out mode if our motoric skills are up to spec and the mouse doesn't move as I click the mouse button. No, the pointer is just too large. That's the problem. I'm gonna adjust that because I call it something like that is better. And I want to do these little things. And we got the 0 already. Alright, so we got the V and the X, and we're gonna round off the 1. Fill, right click to fill with the background color. Does that look sane actually? Well, it gives the font a bit of character, and character is good. Can we reuse this K character to make a X character? An X character. I'm gonna make a backup of this, just to have the exact positions of that. Oops. Right click to clear, Shift R. Right click to delete. Just rub left and right to clean it up and align it. Right here you can go to a left column, left edge for example, and hold Shift and drag it down to the right Y position. And that's of minor importance, so it's gonna do it like this anyway. Fill it. Okay, so we have some sort of X character. So how about we pick the middle part from the 8 right here, and we get the highlight as a bonus. Right? Well, it was a little bit too wide, and the angle is not correct, so we'll do it manually. Okay. We need to do it like that. How does that look? It looks decent. We need to round it off a bit. Well, that looks okay. And that was just bad. Yeah, that's probably as good as it's gonna get. So the V, as I said, some characters are problematic. One problem here is that we're using a 4x4 grid, so it's not gonna be symmetrical. Which means the bottom here won't be pointed. Maybe, no, I will... Actually, let's just go ahead. Okay. Just thinning these out a bit. And checking how it looks. That might be incorrect. So we got something like that working for us. Actually, it wasn't too bad. I was testing out. Sometimes you don't want a perfectly pointed symmetrical bottom here because it may make it too harsh. So all that's left is to maybe anti-alias a little bit. Oops. And that's the wrong way around. Of course, be like this. Yeah, that looks good. X. And we're done. So that's A through Z and some of the digits right there. And we need to make room now, so I'm gonna just copy this. I'll cut this out. I cut out too much. Shift R. Now, if you really need much more space, Shift B to get it back. If you really need much more space, then you can press J, and this will give you a complete new space in which to work. Shift R, Shift B, J to get it back. So you have dual buffers in which you can work, so that you can have one as a workspace if you want, and the other one as the destination document that you're going to save and convert and so on. Speaking of which, we haven't saved yet. That's horrible, isn't it? So we'll call this font 4 then. I'm a version paranoid person. That is, I'm freaked out that something I do will. I want to be able to go back and pick graphics or pieces of code that worked before that doesn't work now. That don't work now, and that's why I have like 20 versions of everything on my hard disk. That do fat. Okay. That'll do us fine, and we'll do as before. Fuck the grid. I'm sorry. And we're not gonna cut those out. We're gonna cut these out. That's 9 characters. And a line, and we want to have a space of 4 in between. Okay. And that's like the Z, right? So just copy that. And soon we'll be home free and eating snacks in the living room. And we need some sort of finish to that. And we have one there, I think. Press Z to rotate 3 times. And remove some stuff and put it there. And that might not look good, but we need to round this corner, of course. So actually, no. We need to round this corner. Grab this corner. If you press B twice in succession, then you'll get some cutout thingy, I think, which can be confusing. So if I press B now, for example, I can cut out a bob. If I press B again, notice this changes, and I think you can make cutout like this to cut out the bob, which is very useful. So it switches between rectangular and lasso mode, if you're familiar with Photoshop. Polygonal lasso, that is. Does that look good? Well, it's decent. I'll have to move on to not make the tutorials hours long. And I had a corner in my brush, so Shift B brings it back, and actually we had a B that we could just copy. Oops. Now I would be the last person in the world to tell anyone to not hand draw their fonts, but when it comes to fonts are different from other graphics. In other graphics you may want a nice level of detail and asymmetry and perspective and things like that. When it comes to font, reusing parts of characters often gives fonts the a homogeneous style, a style throughout that doesn't make some characters stand out like a sore thumb and look bad. So that's basically why. And I need to. I'm gonna use a slightly lower zoom scale. So I pressed Shift dot then. Is that too much compared to the P here? No, that's okay. So the 5 is done. Well, isn't it a bit close though? So you can get slight individual differences even if you reuse parts of characters. And that's the G, so and we want to reuse that, right? That looks okay. Need to shorten this a bit. That's okay. In the name of consequence, we should do the same. Give this the same treatment. Is that better or not? I can make a call. Either way, I'm gonna lose those. Right, okay. See how that works. Might work. Might not work. So, the 7 could be something like the V, right? So, that it's the spot. If you have picked up a bob and need to go into drawing pixels, you press the dot key to get this dot to draw with. Then you can use, I think, plus and minus, yeah, to choose brush size. I'm not sure there's a way to pick these square and spray can brushes. I'm not sure there's a keyboard shortcut for that, but if you know one, then please write in comments. I don't use them that often. And this will look pretty nice probably with a, if we maybe use this corner. Yeah, that look good. Okay, and how does this look? Too fat? Oh well. 7 of 9. That's if you have watched the what is it, Star Trek series? And you're wondering what this 7 of 9 fascination is with the Borgs, then the answer is that Michael Jackson is sibling 7 of 9. So it's a reference to the King of Pop. So here we have a choice again. We can reuse this ZZ. It might actually look better. So we just saved almost 1.5 minutes of work time. I'm sorry, of playtime. So is the dot okay? We might, yeah, it will be when we add the shine, as we will to the eye character there. So we're soon done here, and we've made a font. I will just finish the font tonight, because I need to do some other pixeling. for my group ScoopX tonight. And so how do we use this in a demo? Well, that's a question that I'll answer in the coding tutorial that follows this, that will incorporate the this font into the demo. And I see right away that I can reuse the I here. So what we do, we align this, but not to this leftmost point. We want a little bit of space. It's always good to have a little bit of space to the left of these punctuation characters, maybe. Actually, we're gonna align this with the I made all of these 5, I think 6 pixels wide instead of 7 in the font, which means that we have no character to align with except this one, and that's in the wrong place. So how do we align this? I think I will align by this edge, and 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. So we have some punctuation stuff to do. What does a comma look like? It doesn't look like that, does it? Looks more like this, and it's not that high. And we should anti-alias this for sure. Dark, medium, full, and medium. Something like that. And I do not have a clue. Can we reuse a corner? Don't cut out too much. Could be good. As soon as we clear this stuff. Well, that's a horrible comma, isn't it? But it's fits the style of the font, so what the hell. And since this is already done and dusted, I think F3 replaces. Did you see that? When I pressed F3, then whatever I cut out, this rectangle that I cut out with, that surrounded the eye, became, when I pressed F3, became, this is the replace mode. And it's good if you want to, normally you use the bob as a brush, and that will add to the picture, but now we want to replace this exclamation mark with an upside down eye. And then of course we don't know where to put it anymore, but you can toggle between F1 and F3 to align it. F3, click. So that's our exclamation point. Actually, that looks worse. I'm just gonna all that work just to get something that didn't work. We might also anti-alias this, but I think for the tutorial it will do. So reuse the corner. So I'm just basically checking out what I should do here. That looks okay, actually. Just checking the alignment, and does that look good or not? Well, we need to lose 1 pixel off that, or 2 maybe, to make it. And come on. Ah, now I know what's wrong here. This is not wide enough. And I need to pick up the corner. She's an ex-believer and they know it, but they don't say a thing. That might work. It was too much, but we can correct that. That'll have to do. And here's a pretty straightforward one. And the start and end don't look good. But we have some extra width and I'm going to use that to use this. What the fuck, you have the luck to party with the crookers. I'm just quoting the lyrics, by the way. If you do not hear the lyrics properly, you will probably be confused. So I'm gonna use I'm just gonna maybe untail this. Does that even compute? Nope. So, okay. I'm not gonna quote that lyric. I'm gonna reuse a corner. A corner? I'm talking like the Pink Panther. Well, I need to just finish off this. So, how do I do this without it turning into blur? Turn into blur. So basically just do, how does that look? Horrible. So I'm not gonna quote that lyric either. It's much too rude for the general public's ears. That was too high. Well, that's some kind of apostrophe anyway. So that completes the font, and I'm gonna take 5 and get back